Good evening, everyone. Welcome. What you are looking at, Agentic Media, the new power behind the screen, is not a buzzword. It's not a hype. It's happening right now to all of us, every single day. I am Abdullah Azouz, second year business student.
I'm Lilia Blumqidem, also a second year student.
I'm Isam Faleh, third year student.
I'm Ryan Zizi. I'm a third year student.
It seems that our fifth speaker is having a problem, and she will introduce herself when it's her time to speak. And now I'll take you through the introduction. So, over the next 40 minutes, the five of us are going to take you inside the machine. We're going to show you how AI driven media systems are quietly reshaping what you watch, what you think, what you buy, and even how you feel about the world. This is a topic used to be discussed only in Silicon Valley boardrooms and academic research papers. We think it's time everyone understands it. Let's begin. So this is our content table, and me personally, I'll take you through the hook and opening. So I want to start with a simple question. Look at the screen. Who chose what you watched last night? Think about the last time you opened YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Netflix, and actually consciously, deliberately decided what you were going to watch. Really decided from scratch with no suggestions. Most of us can't, because by the time we open the app, the choice has already been made for us. Look at these numbers. 70% of everything watched on YouTube is driven by recommendations, not by research, not by subscriptions, but only by an algorithm that decided what you should see next. Netflix, over 80% of what people watch comes from AI suggestions. And on average, we spend 3.7 hours every day inside these algorithms. That is not a small thing. That is the majority of our leisure media time, decided by a system that knows us better than we know ourselves. And most of us have no idea how it works. So, why are we talking about this today specifically? Why now? Because something has changed. Four things, actually. First, AI crossed a threshold. These systems are no longer just making suggestions, they are deciding, creating, and distributing content with minimal human input. The agent isn't recommending, it's acting. Second, scale. More than 5 billion people are now online. That's over half of all humans on Earth living inside these algorithm driven ecosystems every single day. Third, generative AI went mainstream. Until very recently, the content inside these feeds was made by humans. Now, a growing share of what you scroll past was never touched by a human hand. It was generated, optimized, and published automatically. And fourth, media power has fundamentally shifted. The gatekeepers used to be editors, journalists, network executives. Today, the gatekeeper is a neural network, and it doesn't have ethic guidelines. It has engagement metrics. These four shifts combined are why we are here today. For example, let me introduce you to Alex. Alex is a totally fictional person, but Alex's morning is almost definitely your morning. At 2 minutes a.m., before Alex is even fully awake, TikTok has already autoplayed six videos. Alex didn't choose them. Alex didn't ask for them. They just appeared. By 8:15, Spotify has served up a mood playlist. Every single track selected by an AI that analyzed Alex's listening history, heart rate data, and the weather in Alex's city. At lunch, YouTube recommends a video that gently, subtly shifts Alex's perspective on a news story. Not dramatically, just a little. Alex doesn't even notice. By the evening, Instagram is showing Alex an ad for a product Alex mentioned out loud, not hyped, but spoken, near a phone earlier in the morning. And at 10 p.m., Netflix autoplays the next episode. Alex watches three more. Alex had planned to sleep at 10:30. Notice what's missing in Alex's day? Choice. And not at no point did Alex consciously decide what to think about. That slide at the bottom isn't a joke. It's the thesis of this entire webinar. So before we go any further, before we talk about influence, power, and what all of this means, we need to understand what agentic media actually is. What separates it from social media, from traditional media? What does it actually look like under the hood? My colleague Lilia is going to take us through the foundation. And just quickly, if you just joined the stream, you didn't miss anything, just the hook. And now it's time for the foundation.
Well, thank you. So let's build the foundation. Agentic media. It sounds technical, so let me give you the clearest definition I can. Agentic media is any media system where AI agents autonomously decide what content to create, curate, distribute, or adapt based on real-time data about users and context. Let's break that down. Three words are doing the heavy lifting here: autonomous, adaptive, and at scale. Autonomous means the system acts without being told. Nobody at YouTube decides that you should watch that next video. The algorithm decided by itself based on patterns. Adaptive means the system is constantly learning. Every click, every pause, every skip feeds back into the model. The system gets better at predicting you with every interaction. And at scale means this isn't happening for one person, it's happening for hundreds of millions of people simultaneously. Billions of unique personalized feeds running at the same moment. That combination, autonomy, adaptability, scale, is what makes agentic media categorically different from anything that came before it. To really understand what's new, we need to understand what came before. Media has gone through three distinct eras. The first era, traditional media, radio, television, newspaper. The model was simple: one source broadcasting to many receivers, a handful of editors decided what the public saw, heard, or read. You had almost no say, you received. The second era, social media. This felt revolutionary because suddenly everyone could publish. You could post, share, react. Media became many to many. But here's the thing: even in the social media era, humans were mostly in control. You followed people, you chose what to engage with. The platform helped, but you were still driving. Now we're in the third era, agentic media. And this is where the shift becomes profound. The agent, the AI, is no longer assisting your choices, it is making them. Look at that third column: AI to individual delivery. Agents decide for you. Dynamic, generated content, predictive influence. You're not driving anymore, you're a passenger, and most people haven't noticed the handover. Agentic media has 6 defining characteristics. Let me walk you through each one quickly. Autonomy: it acts without moment to moment human instruction. Think of it like a self driving car. You set a destination, engagement, and the system handles everything else. Hyper-personalization: it builds a unique experience for each individual. Your feed is not like anyone else's, it is engineered specifically for you. Real-time learning: it adjusts instantly. If you pause on a video for 4 extra seconds, the system notes it. If you skip the first 3 seconds of every ad, it knows. Decision making: the agent doesn't just rank options, it decides what content exists in your world. If the algorithm doesn't surface something for you, it effectively doesn't exist. Scale: billions of simultaneous decisions, no human team could ever match this. And self optimization: the system improves its own performance without being reprogrammed. It learns what keeps you watching and gets better at it automatically. These six traits working together create something that is genuinely unlike any media system humans have ever built or experienced before. Now we know what agentic media is, but how does it actually work? What's happening inside the machine? Let me take you behind the scenes. When we say AI agents, we're talking about specific, real systems that exist right now. Let me name five of them. Recommendation engines. This is TikTok's For You page, YouTube's Up Next, Netflix homepage, Spotify's Discover Weekly. These are the most visible agents, the ones curating your content diet. Content generation AI. We're talking about GPT-4, Sora, Midjourney, and dozens of other systems that can create articles, videos, images, and audio at an industrial scale without a human writer, director, or designer. Ad targeting agents. Meta and Google run sophisticated auction systems that, in real time, we're talking milliseconds, decide which ad to show you at which moment for maximum purchase probability. Ranking algorithms. Every time you open Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn, an algorithm has sorted everything your network posted and decide what you'll see first, second, and what you'll never see at all. And moderation bots, AI systems that decide what content is allowed, what gets removed, and what gets flagged at a scale no human team could ever imagine. All of these five are running simultaneously every day, shaping the media environment you live in. And I'm going to hand over to Esam, who will show you what these systems actually do to your mind.
And before I let you with Islam, I would like to go over the content table again. I would like to let you know that we will answer your questions at the end, and Islam is going to take us through power and influence.
Thank you. So now we know that we know what the agents are. Let's talk about how they actually learn and grow more powerful over time. The feedback loop. This is the mechanism that makes agentic media so effective and so dangerous. It starts with you. You open an app, you scroll, you pause on a video of a puppy for 2 extra seconds, you click on a politic headline, then you skip a cooking tutorial at the 5 second mark. Every one of those micro behaviors became data, captured, timestamped, logged, and analyzed in real time. The data feeds into the model, which is the AI. The model updates its understanding of who you are, what you want, and what will keep you engaged. And then it rebuilds your feed. What you see next is determined by what the model now knows about you. And then the loop starts again and again, thousands of times a day. And here is the part that should make you pause. The loop doesn't stop when you close the app. It's preparing your next session while you sleep. When you wake up, your feed is already optimized for tomorrow morning new. So what exactly is this system watching, and what data is it collecting to power this loop? More than most people actually realize. Watch time and scroll depth, which means how far you scrolled and how long you stayed. Then pause points, which means where exactly in a video you stopped. Then rewatch patterns, which means what did you loop back to watch again, and your likes, your shares, your comments, your skips, your device, your location, and the time of the day. Even in experimental deployments, the facial expression data from your front facing camera. And here is what that adds up to. Researchers have found that platforms can predict your personality, your political views, your purchasing behavior, and your mental health status more accurately than the people closest to you using only your digital behavior. Your best friend might know your birthday, but the algorithm knows your insecurities. As Andrew Lewis stated in 2010, if you are not paying for the product, you are the product. And you are not the audience of agentic media, you are the raw material. Now we've talked about the mechanics. Now let's talk about the consequences. What does it mean when a system this powerful shapes your attention, your opinions, and your behavior? We hear a lot about the attention economy, but let's make it concrete. 1 billion hours of YouTube is watched every single day, not consumed, not browsed, watched. 1 billion hours per day. And the system driving most of that, an algorithm that's relentlessly mathematically optimized for one thing only, keeping you there as long as possible. Not informing you, not enriching you, not making you happier, just longer, more again. The average human attention span has dropped to 8 seconds, and the platform knew that this was coming. They engineered it, which means autoplay. It, autoplay, it's an infinite scroll, meaning notification passes, which are not features of convenience. They are precision tools for capturing and holding the most valuable resource on earth, which are your attention, which is your attention. And every second you spend on a platform is monetized. Your focus is a product being packaged and sold to advertisers before you've even finished the thought. And the more extreme, the more outrage inducing, the more emotionally resonant the content, the longer you stay. The system has learned this and it gives you more of it. This isn't just about waste time. This is about what happens to your thinking. Let me give you 4 documented examples, not theories, documented findings. First, we have YouTube. Researchers found that starting from moderate content, which is a mainstream political video, a fitness channel, which is the recommendation algorithm, will guide users toward increasingly extreme content in an average of 6 steps, 6 clicks to radicalization. Second, we have Facebook. Facebook's own internal research, meaning the researchers, their data, found that the platform makes 1 in 5 users feel angry or sad. And yet, engagement went up because sad users click more. Third, we have TikTok. Independent researchers created new accounts and found that eating disorder content was being auto-recommended within minutes to accounts that had shown no prior interest in that topic whatsoever. And finally, considering Twitter, which is called X in today, studies show that outrage content, which are posts that trigger anger and or moral indignation, receives 6 times more engagement than neutral posts. The algorithm rewards outrage, so there is more outrage. And in every single case, the platform knew, and the system kept doing it because it worked. And that is what it means to have an agent that optimizes for engagement at the expenses of human well-being.
Thank you, Sam. Very rich part. And I now will go through the content table again before I let you with our next speaker. Our next speaker is going to cover psychology and opportunities, and I'll let you now with Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to zoom in on something important: the psychology of why this. Because the algorithm don't just understand your behavior; they exploit your neuroscience. 4 mechanisms, 4 ways your brain is being worked. First, dopamine loops. Every time you pull down to refresh your feed, that's a machine pull. The variable reward schedule. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes you get nothing. And it's the most addictive reinforcement pattern in behavioral psychology. Brain doesn't work. Your brain doesn't know it's a slot machine. It releases dopamine either way. Second, echo chambers. The agent shows you more of what you already agree with. Over time, your information environment becomes a mirror. Dissenting viewers disappear. Your certainty grows, and that certainty makes you more engaged and more vulnerable to manipulation. Third, fear of missing out. The notification system creates a low-level anxiety. Stepping away feels like missing something. This is by design. Anxiety drives re-engagement. And fourth, parasocial bonds. The algorithm that you engage more with content from creators who feel like friends. You trust them, you buy what they recommend, you defend them to strangers online. The agent has manufactured intimacy at scale. These aren't side effects, they are features of the business model. Here's where it gets even more interesting and more unsettling. We've talked about AI recommending content, but agentic media has evolved further than that. It now creates the content. Right now, today, AI news and course are delivering real-time bulletins in China, India, and across the Middle East. Synthetic presenters indistinguishable from humans to most viewers. Meta and Google are running advertising campaigns where thousands of different ads variants are automatically generated, tested, and optimized without a single human copywriter involved. There are virtual influencers like Lil Mikila, Ima, Shudo, entirely computer-generated characters with millions of followers, brand deals, and passionate fan communities, real humans forming emotional bonds with people who and the audience often has no idea because the content looks so real, it sounds so real, and it feels real. When the agent creates the content and decides who sees it and optimizes the distribution, the entire media ecosystem becomes a closed loop with no human editorial judgment anywhere in the chain. Now, I want to be clear. We're not here to tell you that AI is evil and algorithms are your enemy. That's not the point. The tools are real. The opportunity are real. The opportunities are real, and if you understand them, you can use them. So let's talk about the upside. The same tools that can manipulate can also empower if you know how to use them. For creators, AI has lowered the barrier of entry to near zero. A solo creator with the right tools can now produce content that reaches exactly the right audience at a scale that previously required a full production team and a marketing budget. The algorithm rewards consistency, relevance, and engagement. If you understand what the system values, you can work with it, not against it. And the creators who understand this are building audiences faster than any generation in media history. For businesses, hyper-targeted advertising means your message reaches exactly the people who are ready to buy. Dynamic content means every customer segment sees something tailored to them. And 24/7 automated engagement means you're always present, even when your team isn't. For users, when it works well, AI curation surface contents. Sorry, uh, AI curation surface content you genuinely love, communities you'd never have found, and learning resources matched to exactly where you are right now. The question isn't whether to engage with these systems, you already are. The question is whether you're going to be passive inside them or intentional. And if you're thinking about where to take your career, this is the map. Agentic Media is creating entirely new professional roles that didn't exist 5 years ago, and the demand for people understanding is dramatically outpacing supply. AI content strategist, you don't just create content, you architect how AI agents create it on behalf of a brand. Algorithm journalist, you use AI to surface stories faster, verify information at scale, and distribute to exactly the right audience. Prompt engineer, to you have the ability to communicate effectively with AI systems, and it's becoming one of the most valuable creative and technical skills in the market. We also got media ethics auditor. As regulations start to catch up with the technology, companies need people who can evaluate AI system for bias, for bias, manipulation risk, and legal compliance. We also have synthetic media producer creating AI-generated videos, audio, and visual content of professional quality for brands, campaigns, and media outlet. And finally, we have AI influencer manager managing virtual creators and their brand relationship. This is a real job. People are doing it today. Every one of these roles is growing, and right now, the people understand them. Both the human side and the technical side of agentic media are extraordinarily rare and extraordinarily valuable. I'll hand over now to Selma, who is going to make sure we go into this future with our eyes wide open.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for your part. And I'm seeing that Selma is still having some problems. So I will give you some time to write your questions in the comments. And I think she's here. Okay. I'll take you through the content table until she is ready to present herself and present her part. The part that is going to be covered by Selma is risks and future. So, thank you.
So, hello everyone. I'm sorry for the issue. I'm Salma Saad and I'm 22 years old. This is my third year at Al Akhawain University, and I'm BA student. And now I'll go you through the risks, futures, and close. Thank you everyone for your response. I want to close with something important. We've heard about the mechanics, the influence, the opportunities. Now let's talk about what's at stake when this goes wrong. We've heard about the mechanics, and it does go wrong regularly at scale. And there are 4 categories of risk I want to put in front of you. These are hypothetical, they are documented recurring failures. First, algorithm bias. AI models learn from historical data. Historical data contains decades of human prejudice. The result, the system that reproduce and amplify discrimination in job placement, in healthcare recommendation, in news distribution, often without anyone intending it. Political manipulation, the same micro-targeting technology that helps small business find its customers, can be used to identify psychologically influenced voters and to serve them personalized disinformation. This is not theoretical risk. This has happened in election in multiple countries. Mental health, Facebook's owns researchers found that Instagram was worsening body image issue in teenage girls. The company knew the product continued because the engagement number stayed strong. And finally, filter bubbles. When your information environment is algorithmically optimized to match your existing beliefs, you stop encountering challenge, you stop encountering uncertainty and critical thinking. The ability to hold contradictory information and reason through it quietly atrophies. The system that is most engaging is not always the system that is most true, most fair, or most good for you. And now moving on to who controls the agents. Here is the thing. I think the most important question in media today, and it's one that almost nobody is asking loudly enough, who controls the agents? Who sets the objectives? The answer is shareholders. The metric engagement is engagement, not truth, not well-being, not civic health, engagement. That is that is the directive the agents are given. And who audits the algorithm? Almost nobody. Most systems are proprietary. The code that shapes your media reality is trade secret. External researchers, journalists, and regulators cannot see inside it. Who do you complain to when the system harms you? There is no appeals process. There are terms of service written by companies, lawyers, and that's it. And who pays when this goes wrong? Society does, in form of increased polarization, declining trust in institutions, a mental health crisis among young people, the erosion of shared reality. These costs are real, they are enormous, and they don't appear on any platform's balance sheets. Transparency, regulation, and digital literacy are not optional conversations to have someday. They are urgent necessities. And now moving on to future outlook. So where is all of this going? Because the pace of change is not slowing down. Let me now give you a look what's coming on. Let's ask the question, where is this heading? These are not science fictions. These are extrapolation from things already in development already, in beta, already deployed in some markets. And in 2013, first by in 2025, AI influencers become mainstream, not niche experiments, mainstream. Synthetic creator with brand partnership, loyal following, and content that is exactly like human creators running at scale. In 2026, real-time content generation at broadcast scale. Imagine new channel that produces completely personalized newscast for every single viewer, different stories and different perspective, different emphasis, all generated live and all at once. In 2027, agentic media ecosystems operating with minimal human editorial oversight. The humans still own the platform, but fewer and fewer humans are involved in what those platforms decide to show people. In 2028 and beyond, regulatory frameworks will emerge, governments will try to catch up, but enforcement will lag by years, possibly decades, and the technology will keep moving on. Here is what I want you to hear in all this. This future is not inevitable, it is being built by humans, which means it can be shaped by humans, including you. Now, moving on to the conclusion, like the question isn't whether AI will shape media. It's already that it is already shaped. It is doing it right now as we sit here. And the question is, what are you going to do with that knowledge? Are you aware of who is shaping your feed? Do you know what the objective function is? Do you understand what value is being optimized and for whose benefit? And the question is, are you building these systems or just consuming them? Because the people who build them, who understand them, are the ones who will define what agentic media looks like for the next generation. Are you going to stay passive or becoming intentional? Because intentionality is the only real defense. And pause before you share. Question, what are you being served? Like, notice the rabbit hole before you fall down it. The screen is not neutral. The feed is not random. The next video was chosen for a reason. Say that with your mind. And the reason is usually not your long-term well-being. Don't just scroll, question, create, and lead. Thank you all so much for your time and attention today. Would love to take your question. Thank you.
And Selma, you're going to stay with us because we are going to take the questions right now. I'll wait for. Okay, they are ready. So we have our first question. I think it appears on the screen. What is the main idea of agentic media introduced in the opening? That is a very good question, and I'll try to answer it briefly and then I'll go through detail. So, the agentic media refers to AI driven systems that autonomously decide what content users see, shaping their attention, opinions, and behavior. That's it, I think, for your question. I will remove the question from the screen, and we have another question. What are the three defining characteristics of agentic media? I think this one is for Lilia.
Yes. So the three defining characteristics of agentic media are autonomy, adaptability, and scale. Autonomy means the system operates independently, making decisions without direct human input. Adaptability refers to the system's ability to learn from user interactions in real time, constantly refining its understanding of preferences. Scale highlights the fact that these processes occur simultaneously for millions or even billions of users, creating highly personalized experiences for each individual.
The next question is, what are the major risks of agentic media? Whose question is this? Who has the part about risks?
I'm gonna talk about the sport.
Okay.
Okay. For your question, Ines, I think what are two major risks of agentic media? The two major risks of agentic media are algorithmic bias and manipulation, as I said. Algorithmic bias occurs when AI systems reflect and amplify existing societal inequalities present in their training data. And manipulation happens when these systems are used to influence opinions or behaviors, such as through target political messaging. Other risks, including negative mental health effects and the creation of filter bubbles, where users are exposed only to information that reinforces their existing beliefs.
We have another question by Amin. How does the platform know what I'm feeling, not just what I click?
I'll answer that. So basically, it doesn't know. It guesses, and it's surprisingly good at it. And even without a camera, the platform watches the tiny clues: how long you pause, what you watch, what you scroll past quickly, and if you stop on an angry post for 2 extra seconds, the algorithm knows that if you replay a sad video, it learns that too. So the big picture is that over time it builds a map of your emotions, sometimes more accurately than a friend would, and you never see it happening. I guess that's it.
We have another question by Yahya. What opportunities does agentic media create?
Agentic media creates significant opportunities for creators, businesses, and users. It lowers barriers without large
Ryan,
resources. Businesses can
Ryan,
use. Sorry.
sorry, can you repeat? You had a connection problem. Can you repeat just the last few phrases? Thank you.
Okay. I said that for creators, it lowers barrier to entry by enabling them to reach highly targeted audience without large resources. Also, that businesses can use AI-driven tools to deliver personalized marketing and optimize customer engagement. Additionally, new career paths have emerged, like, for example, AI content strategists and prompt engineers. For users, these systems can provide more relevant and engaging content when used intentionally. Thank you.
I think that's it for the questions. Thank you to all the viewers, and we will end it here. Thank you.